She carried families, workers, and travelers across the cold waters of Lake Michigan. She was fast, reliable, and trusted, a floating bridge between cities. And then one night, fire swallowed her decks. Panic filled the air, and the lake claimed another ship. This is the true story of SS Indiana, a deserted ferry, lost to fire and forgotten by time. Before highways and airplanes, the Great Lakes were highways of America. Passenger ferries connected cities, moved people to jobs, and carried commerce across inland seas. SS Indiana was one of those ferries, not a warship, not a cargo giant, but a working vessel that mattered deeply to everyday Americans. She sailed regular routes, carried ordinary people, and became part of daily life until disaster struck. If you enjoy real forgotten shipwreck stories, consider subscribing. These are true American maritime histories. SS Indiana was built in 1900 at the Detroit Dry Dock Company. She was designed as a passenger ferry and package freight steamer, built for speed and comfort. Her length was over 300 feet, constructed of steel, powered by steam engines. She featured passenger cabins, dining areas, open decks, and cargo holds. Indiana represented modern lake travel, safe, efficient, and dependable. At least, that was the belief. SS Indiana entered service on Lake Michigan, operating primarily between Chicago and Michigan ports. She quickly gained a reputation for speed. Schedules were tight, and Indiana delivered consistently. Passengers trusted her. Families boarded her without fear. Crews knew her systems well. The lakes were busy, multiple ships crossing daily, often in fog storms and darkness. Yet Indiana navigated these waters without major incident for many years. Life aboard SS Indiana was lively. Passengers filled cabins. Children played on deck. Meals were served in dining rooms. Crew members worked below, managing boilers, engines, and navigation. Steamships required constant attention. Coal fed the fires. Machinery demanded discipline. Despite risks, ferries like Indiana symbolized progress and connection. In June 1916, SS Indiana departed on what should have been a routine voyage. Passengers settled in. Crew performed standard duties. Then fire broke out. It began in a cargo area. Flames spread rapidly through wooden fittings. Smoke filled passageways. Panic erupted. Passengers rushed to decks. Crew attempted to control the blaze, but the fire moved faster than men could respond. As flames grew, the ship became unmanageable. Heat warped steel. Smoke blinded crew. Lifeboats were launched in confusion. Some passengers jumped into the cold water. Others clung to railings. The lake was dark. Wind carried sparks across the ship. Despite desperate efforts, the fire could not be contained. SS Indiana was doomed. The captain ordered abandonment. Lifeboats were lowered. Survivors crowded aboard. Rescue ships responded, racing toward the burning ferry. Miraculously, most passengers survived, but SS Indiana was left alone, burning fiercely, drifting on Lake Michigan, a deserted ship engulfed in flames. What happens to a ship after everyone escapes? Subscribe to uncover how deserted vessels meet their final fate. Hours later, SS Indiana burned down to her steel skeleton. With no crew aboard, she slowly lost buoyancy. Water entered through damaged hull sections. Eventually, she sank beneath Lake Michigan, disappearing into darkness. No explosion, no final message, just silence. Investigations later suggested the fire was likely caused by flammable cargo, combined with inadequate fire suppression. At the time, fire safety regulations were minimal. Ships relied on crew response, not automated systems. SS Indiana became a warning, a lesson learned through disaster. The wreck of SS Indiana rests on the lake bed, preserved by cold fresh water. Her hull lies broken, decks collapsed, machinery silent. Divers who later discovered her described a haunting scene, a ferry frozen in her final moments, windows empty, cabins collapsed, a ship abandoned forever. SS Indiana did not sink in war. She did not carry famous figures. She served ordinary people, and history often overlooks such ships. Her story faded as newer ferries replaced her, as roads and bridges changed travel. Yet her loss influenced safety reforms, fireproof materials, improved lifeboat procedures, stricter inspections. SS Indiana represents a critical era when steam ferries dominated inland travel. She reminds us of the risks faced by passengers and the bravery of crews. Her sinking highlighted the dangers of fire at sea, especially on passenger vessels. Many later safety standards exist because of ships like Indiana. Today, SS Indiana is considered a ghost ship, not because she appears on the surface, but because her presence lingers in memory. A deserted ferry, lost to fire, hidden beneath the waves. The lake keeps her intact, preserving a moment in time. Most passengers survived, but the terror they experienced was real. Survivor accounts described smoke panic and confusion. Children separated from parents, crew risking lives to help others. Their stories were reported briefly, then forgotten. But they mattered. SS Indiana was not meant to die alone. She was built for people, for connection, for movement. Yet, she ended deserted, burning without crew, drifting without purpose. Her fate symbolizes the thin line between routine and disaster. SS Indiana no longer carries passengers. Her decks are silent, her engines cold, but her story still floats in history. A deserted ferry, a lesson in safety, and a reminder that even familiar journeys can turn deadly. The Great Lakes hide hundreds of forgotten ships, each with a real story. Subscribe if you want to uncover abandoned ferries, lost liners, and the silent history beneath American waters.